I am 99 years old. My name is Antonio. If you saw me walking through my village in the Alentejo region or sitting on my porch, you would probably feel a small pang of pity. You would see my thin hands, my slow movements, and the empty chairs around my table, and you would think, what a lonely, tragic end to a long life. But I'm going to tell you something that might upset you, or at least challenge everything you think you know about getting older. My wife is gone. My friends are buried in the cemetery at the edge of the hills. My children have their own lives, their own stresses, their own noise. And yet, sitting here in this silence, I am finally truly happy. You see, for most of my 99 years, I lived in fear of exactly where I am now. I thought that if the house went quiet, it meant I had failed. I thought that being alone was a punishment. But I've discovered that solitude isn't a prison. It's a gift that most of you are too busy to open. Stay with me for a few minutes, because what I've learned in these empty rooms could save you decades of unnecessary noise. I spent 40 years working in a cork factory. It was a life of constant sound, the roar of the machines, the shouting of men, the clatter of the trucks. And when I came home, the noise didn't stop. I had a wife I loved and 4 children who were always running, crying, or asking for something. Our house in the village was a hurricane of, "Antonio, fix the roof. Antonio, the children need shoes. Antonio, tell your mother she can't stay another week." I thought this was the only way to be. I thought that being a man meant being a shield, constantly vibrating with the needs of others. I believed the lie that if I wasn't busy, I didn't exist. I was a good provider, a faithful husband, a reliable father, but I was a stranger to myself. I was so busy managing everyone else's happiness that I never stopped to ask what was happening inside my own chest. I was comfortable, as they say, but I wasn't connected. I was living on autopilot, checking boxes, and waiting for a later that I thought would be full of people. Everything changed 15 years ago when Maria died. We had been married for 55 years. When she was gone, the house didn't just feel empty, it felt haunted by the quiet. For months I couldn't stand it. I would leave the television on all night, just to have the blue light and the fake voices in the room. I would walk to the village square and sit on a bench for hours, watching the tourists, just so I wouldn't have to hear my own thoughts. I was terrified of the silence because I didn't know the man who lived in it. But one Tuesday morning, something broke. I had reached for the radio, and my hand stopped. I looked at the dust dancing in a beam of sunlight, the bright, heavy Alentejo sun. I sat down in my old wooden chair. I didn't turn on the music. I didn't call my daughter. I just sat. At first, my mind was screaming, making lists of things to do. But after an hour, the screaming stopped. A deep, cool peace settled over me, like the shadows in a stone church on a hot day. That was the day I realized that the silence wasn't my enemy. It was a mirror. And for the first time in 99 years, I liked the person looking back at me. The first thing you realize when you are truly alone is that you finally, for the first time, own your time. You don't realize how much of your life is a performance for others until the audience is gone. For decades, I woke up because the factory whistle blew or the baby cried. I ate when Maria was hungry. I slept when the house was finally settled. Now my time is a vast, open ocean. If I want to spend 3 hours watching a small green lizard hunt on my stone wall, I do it. If I want to eat a bowl of olives and bread at midnight, there is no one to tell me it's not a proper meal. I have no shoulds left in my life. You think you have time, but you are a slave to your schedules and your phones. I am 99, and I am the only person I know who is actually the master of his own clock. It is a luxury that even the richest man in Lisbon doesn't have. There is a second freedom that comes with this solitude, the total absence of fuss. Think about how much energy you spend every day managing other people's moods. You are constantly checking, is my partner angry? Why did my boss look at me that way? What did my sister mean by that comment? Living with people is like living in a room full of friction. Even in a good marriage, you are always compromising, always adjusting your temperature to match someone else's. But in my house now, the air is still. There is no drama, no one to prove right or wrong, no one to defend myself against. My nervous system has finally, after a century, stopped being on guard. This isn't isolation. It's a long overdue rest for my soul. Thirdly, I've found that when you stop talking, your senses wake up. When I was young and surrounded by people, the world was just a background for my conversations. I didn't taste my food, I just chewed while I argued about politics. I didn't see the trees, they were just shade for my car. But now, everything is magnified. When I peel a fresh orange, the smell fills the whole room like a celebration. When I sip my black coffee, I can taste the soil it grew in and the fire that roasted it. I can hear the different voices of the wind, the way it whistles through the cork oaks compared to the way it rustles the dry grass. You are so busy looking for big experiences that you are missing the universe hidden in your daily life. Solitude has turned up the volume on the world's beauty. The most difficult thing to admit is how much of a relief it is to stop being responsible for everyone else. I spent 60 years carrying a heavy backpack full of my family's emotions. If my daughter was unhappy in her marriage, I felt it was my fault. If my son was struggling with money, I couldn't sleep. Being alone has allowed me to finally put the backpack down. I love my children more than ever, but I have realized that I cannot live their lives for them. I am no longer a fixer or a provider. I am just Antonio. By letting go of the responsibility for their happiness, I have finally found my own. And the irony is, my children say I am more pleasant to be around now than I was 30 years ago. I am no longer heavy with their burdens. Lastly, I've realized that I am never actually alone. When the noise of people stops, you can finally hear a deeper rhythm. Some call it God. I call it the breath of the world. Sitting on my porch at dusk, I feel a connection to the sky and the hills that I never felt when the house was full of shouting. I feel like I am a part of the whole tapestry of life, not just a small, stressed man trying to hold a family together. You run from silence because you are afraid you will find nothing there. But I promise you, from the end of a very long road, you will not find nothing. You will find the truth. You will find that you are enough, exactly as you are, without your titles, your money, or your busy schedule. I don't have many years left. Maybe months, maybe days. But I wouldn't trade these quiet years for all the noise of my youth. I want you to look at your own life. Are you afraid to be alone? Why? What are you running from when you pick up your phone the second there is a gap in your day? I have a challenge for you, and I want you to do it in the next 24 hours. Not for me, but for yourself. Find 15 minutes. Leave your phone in a drawer. Sit by a window or on a park bench. Do not read. Do not plan your grocery list. Just be. It will feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind will itch. But stay there. Let the silence in. See who is sitting in that chair when the rolls are gone. Thank you for listening to an old man. I am 99, and I am finally at peace. Don't wait until you're my age to realize that your own company is worth keeping. If this resonated with you, I hope you'll stay with us. We share these stories because we want you to understand the important things now, while you still have time to change. Leave a comment and tell me, what is the most terrifying thing about silence for you? And if you have your own story, your own hard-won truth, please fill out the form in the description. Your words might be the light someone else needs to find their way out of the noise. Go now, turn off the screen, and go meet yourself.